Welcome, Incorrigible new and old, to episode 1 of our Storm Cape campaign. We're just as excited to get into it as you are, so let's just start the adventure. As is tradition, every year on April 1st, the main streets of Storm Cape are cordoned off for the Founders Parade. The entirety of the city is all but shut down for the celebration. Thousands of Capians crowd against street barricades, waiting for floats to pass by, all in celebration of the formation of the city of Storm Cape. On this day, 8+ centuries ago, founders washed up upon the shore in Storm Cape after a shipwreck and established the city. Wooden seating, like bleachers kind of thing, right? They've been set up in many areas along the street. Children are propped up on their parents' shoulders to get a glimpse of the brightly decorated wagons that make up the parade processions. And the parade does have 4 of these processions throughout the city in various sections. Their routes eventually to terminate, and then all 4 kind of meet at Auric Court in the Wares district, which is the center of the city. The numerous city guilds are all represented in each parade route. Wagons are made up to look like a boat for the Angler's Hall, a mad scientist-themed laboratory for the Arcanist Academia, entire orchestras atop a mobile stage for the Virtuoso Cooperative, a mock fighting match in a boxing ring for the Brawlers Club. You know, the Stalker's Lodge wagon is in the shape of the extirpated owl bear with a moving head that sways back and forth. Tethered to the wagons and floating high above the onlookers are massive paper lanterns. The equivalent of a well-fed campfire kind of burn on their metal bases to send the hot air up, streaming to provide the lift for them. They're painted in bright colors like the wagons and shaped into various items. A giant hammer and chisel to represent the Masons' Assembly, a wood-cutting axe for the Choppers Guild, piles of metal ingots for the Iron Clangers, lanterns in the shape of a fish, deer, a stack of books, musical instruments. Like, again, every guild and any facet that you might associate with those guilds are represented here physically in physicalized items. And to end each procession route are the largest floats by far, of course, for the founders themselves. The Tuskers, the Perals, the Amorks, and the Volthrums. Each route has one founding family on their own float. Their placement always changes every year, so excited Capians are never quite sure who they'll just get a glimpse of on which route they might assemble around. There's wandering food vendors. They're pushing their way through the crowds along the parade routes, calling out to the hungry and the thirsty to alleviate their symptoms for a greatly inflated cost. And of course, other vendors are out there as well, selling their wares, including the Toggle Sprockets. Opal and her working-age siblings, they've been sent out with their own tray of trinkets from Toggles and Sprockets. It hangs in front of them and on straps, right, like a reverse backpack. They're kind of spread out along the beginning of one of the parade routes on the Lowell Roadway, which runs east to west on the southern border of the Artisanal Alley District, where Opal, of course, your parents' shop is located. Peddling wares on Founders Day is nothing new to you, as you and your siblings do this every year that it comes around. And, usually a friendly sibling rivalry is stirred up on Founders Day to see who can sell the most before the parade turns onto the first parallel connector as it continues towards the center of the city. So, Opal, what kind of trinkets do you have on your board, or what kind of sales tactics do you like to employ every Founders Day, walking around the crowd of Capians?
So would I be selling officially licensed Toggle Sprocket goods, or would I be trying to peddle some of my stuff on the side? That's the question.
That's up to you, I would say. As far as your parents are concerned, yes, anything on your board should be something you could be featured and bought and purchased in the actual storefront. But there's nothing stopping you from slipping a few of your own little tonics and tinctures under your assemblage of saleable items. So definitely, though, your parents would provide you with store stock. So, pendants that emit a programmable phrase, little tiny mechanized wind up animals that can move, that, small things that would fit in the palm of your hand, kind of trinkety things. Obviously the larger, more expensive items, you don't really want to send out just walking down the street in these large crowds kind of things. So I would say the price of many of the items from the store you have probably ranges from something as low as 5 silver pieces to maybe the most like the really nice little trinky things as much as 2 gold pieces to sell for. So you want to add some of your own things to the mix?
I think I would. I think what they don't know will benefit me. They're not exactly keeping stock on my inventory, so as long as I have the money proving I sold the most in money. So I think I would have a few of my little my tonics and tinctures, maybe a little bit of a healing potion, little potion of swiftness, a little thing for boldness, for resilience, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And are you like yelling out call for your wares, or are you just trying to strut around until you see someone interested?
I would scan the crowd for anyone that looks familiar from the Bash and Clash.
Okay, give me a perception.
Maybe someone I've seen before. Not great. That's a 5.
Okay, I mean, the streets are very crowded, and you're having to, your small stature makes it a little easier for you, but you're kind of navigating, around the legs and ankles and knees of people. So you don't quite notice anybody from like your time at the Bash and Clash or anything like that. And also you're quite far from that part of town too, like where the Bash and Clash actually is. So it's not surprising that maybe you don't recognize any of your extracurricular clientele.
So for my magical tinkering, I guess I can do 3 magical tinkering actions per long rest. So again, I've got like the basic stuff from my parents, but I'm also going to offer a few different things of my own. So I can add some magical tinkering to some items here. So let's say we've got a necklace or an amulet. I can add a shedding of bright light. I can add light to that. I can actually have items emit a choice of odor. So I'll just ask people, or a sound, like what they want to hear, and I could do it on the spot sort of thing.
Okay.
So I look around, is anyone looking interested? And I go, fine goods, trinkets, potions, tonics. What ails ya? What do you need? Let's celebrate Founders Day. Just kind of repeat it.
Yeah, you're just kind of walking around shouting this out to the crowd. There's definitely lots of interest. You see one guy, he's got his kid up on his shoulders, and the kid kind of like is attracted to the light emitted from one of your items, right? So the dad kind of takes his kid over there and basically asks you how much for this, and the kid would like the smell of apple pie.
Ooh, that's a great choice. Okay, hold on 1 second. And you like this shiny one here that provides light. Now the light and the smell, it's gonna cost a little extra. Is that okay, Dad?
Oh boy, how much are we talking?
Well, Dad, for 1 gold piece, it can be his. Lasts indefinitely.
Well, I think we can do that to make the tyke happy. Here you go. Pleasure doing business.
All right, remember, toggles and sprockets have all your needs.
And he like hands it to his kid to let the kid play with it. You hear the kid like laugh a little titter as it's taking a big whiff of the... What did you put the smell on? Is it just like a stone or something?
Whatever he was looking at that was glowing, I would say like a necklace or a piece of jewelry, I guess. And then so it's shedding bright light and dim light for 5 feet, and another 5 feet, and then smelling like apple pie. So as he walks down the street, people are smelling apple pie. Where's the apple pie? Point him my way. It's like a walking advertisement.
Okay. I like it.
Now I can only add apple pie to 3 items, but
so you're limited.
and then the indefinitely means till I infuse something else another day. But
wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Poor little Timmy.
You're having quite a bit of success. Why don't you roll me a some type of charisma check? Why don't you roll me a persuasion with advantage?
So 15.
That's pretty good. I mean, with your first satisfied customer, and again, the waft of the apple pie, you're just attracting customers all over. And, in about a 30 to 60 minutes or so, you sell through your whole board. And in all, you've raised about 21 gold pieces. In a smattering of currencies, obviously many silver pieces, etc. Well done. Kylia Seychadal and the rest of Zalmo's children have been sent out to take advantage of the sizable crowds. Founders Day always comes with a bump in stolen goods and coin returned to the castle where Zalmo and the children live. Kylia, you're down along the Cognition Connector, named for the Cognition District, that runs north to south through it. The majority of the people who live in this district, they're academics, most likely associated with the Arcanist Guild somehow, or they're tourists from anywhere across Senta, visiting and drawn to the main attraction of this district, the Planar Tower.
Jimmy, you see him? I think he'd make a good mark for us.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
You go, distract him. We'll take care of everything else.
Okay. So Jimmy, one of the younger children under Zalmo's...
Yes.
What do you call it? Zalmo's protection? Zalmo's care?
Zalmo's family.
Okay. Zalmo's family.
Under Zalmo's protection, the children that he has collected.
So Jimmy kind of, navigates his way through the crowd, and he just kind of gets in front of this guy and abruptly stops and bends down in front of him as if to tie his shoe and get in his way.
When Jimmy does that, Kylia will gently nudge the man to cause him to fall over Jimmy.
Okay.
Oh, we're so sorry, sir. Oh, sorry, we didn't see you there. Here, let us help you up.
Oh, ow! I've got a scrape.
Oh, we're so sorry. Oh, that's terrible. And she will rub on his arm. Oh, goodness. And then she will reach around and try and pickpocket.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand with advantage from Jimmy's help.
22.
Okay. Definitely a successful pickpocket. Can you roll me a d10?
7.
Can you roll me a d6, please?
2.
You retrieve a heavy iron ring from his pocket. Approximate value, maybe a few silver pieces. Nothing too extravagant.
We gotta be going. Jimmy, let's go.
Jimmy finishes tying his shoe and follows after you.
Down an alleyway from where we were, Kylia will show Jimmy what she got.
What did we get, Kylia?
Really, not much. We were wrong about his prospects. You did wonderful, though. You were so good.
Well, let's do it again. That was fun. Crime's fun.
Well, don't look at it as crime so much as relieving people of unnecessary burdens.
Oh, we're helping them.
Yeah, you're helping them.
So Jimmy will pick out another mark, and you can try this again. Maybe down a little further down the parade procession, and roll me another sleight of hand. Let's see if you can get something else. We'll do it one more time.
That's a 7.
Ooh. So this Jimmy has picked out kind of more of a larger man, a human again, and as Jimmy, does his tie the shoe routine, and you try to push this man, he doesn't move. You don't really push him over. It's a problem. So he just kind of sits up. Excuse me, children, out of my way. What are you doing?
None of your concern, fatso. Seychadal!
What did you say to me?
We didn't mean anything by that. Sorry. Bye. And Kylia run away.
And again, Jimmy scampers after you.
Maybe next time pick somebody that's not so hefty.
Okay, Kylia. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, we'll get him next time.
Rumpke, you're coming off a pretty good week of fighting with 3 hard-fought wins under your belt, and of course the gold associated with it. So I would say you're feeling pretty flush right now, as far as your normal winning rate kind of goes. But your untended cuts and bruises are more things that are just different about this Founders Day parade for you, as you haven't been through a Founders Day since you've been expelled from the Masons Assembly. You would normally be up on the Masons Guild float with the guild leader, Seth Dunland, and the rest of his family. Waving at the crowds lined along Cliff End roadway. Now you're just another face kind of lost in the crowd as you see on the float Zoe Dunland with her mother and father slowly passes by. Her bodyguard Freya ever present at her side on the top of the float as well, stoically scanning the streets for threats.
All right, so I think I'd be walking around, sort of. My reputation's been sort of tarnished a bit. So now that I have some cash, I'm going to sort of go around. There's a lot of people on the street. I'll be walking up behind people. And, hey, looks like your kid there needs some popcorn. Here, take him out and get some. And hand a coin over to the parents and, walk up to somebody else and go, look at the parade. It's wonderful. I can't believe how nice these is. It's amazing. Look at like the balloons and stuff. And I'm assuming a lot of people know me at this point, or at least know me around the area, so they're trying to tactfully avoid me, I would say.
Okay.
See me coming, and they're being nice because it's Founders Day, but they also see this guy that's all sort of cut up and everything. My clothes are sort of like I've had 2 or 3 different shirts over the last 6 months, and the sleeves, of course, are off, as any good fighter would have their sleeves off, and little drops of blood here and there because I don't get washed very much. So I'm a little off-putting to people, but I'm trying my best. So I'm gonna make my way along the parade, sort of for a while, following along, looking at the Dunland float that I had once been on, sort of pining for those days, but try not to be seen, of course. Yeah, I think I'd just walk along through the crowd and be going up to people and patting them on the back. How you doing today? Wonderful Founders Day, right?
Yeah, I mean, the people you're throwing coin to definitely give you some positive, affirmations back. As they give you a pat on the back, and some of them certainly recognize you from some fights and can call you by name. Like you said, though, others might be shying away from you. I think some might not know whether or not you're there to give them coin or ask for it. So some of them might, like you said, be a little more adverse to interacting with you. As far as following the floats, the float is, it's crawling, right? It's you all would know, again, having experienced Founders Day multiple times in the city, that the float procession usually takes about 2 hours or so to get to the city center. A route that would take you walking at a normal pace 30 minutes, right? So it's just crawling at a snail's pace, as a parade normally would, right? The purpose is it showcase it throughout the whole city, let everybody get a glimpse of all the different floats, and in this case, get a glimpse at all the founding families riding at the very end of them, right? But as you're progressing through the crowd, over the live music that's kind of emanating from one of the virtuoso floats, you can hear this chanting, You've kind of made it down all the way to the corner of the first parallel connector and where it meets Higher Medlin roadway. Part of the crowd has kind of swelled in a clump here, blocking the entire 60-foot wide main road. As you get closer, their chanting becomes more and more clear. The founders are flounders! The founders are flounders! And many of them hold up signs of protest, saying, different things like, keep the war out of our storm, the failing founders, that kind of stuff. Clearly some type of protest going on here. I mean, most Capians are familiar with this activist group. They call themselves the Peaceable Patriots. They've been active for much longer than the 5 years you've been in Storm Cape, Rumpke. They're wholly against any actions by the founders that support the Third Mineral War. The most controversial of which being the increased recruitment and training of city guard members to be sent south as soldiers of war. An initiative that has been going on for more than 40 years, but has seen a dramatic uptick in the last decade or so as far as, the number of people being recruited and trained and shipped off, basically. This protest has caused the parade to come to a halt, as very quickly reacting, a line of heavily armed city guards kind of approaches this protesting group. They've got their shields raised, forming this kind of wall of dark green and pale yellow, which are the colors of the serge that the city guards wear over their armor. As defiant as the protests are protesters appear to be, they do seem to live up to their name, and they're very quickly pushed back off the road without a violent incident. Kind of, again, mixed and pushed into the rest of the parade crowds. And, again, with the road now clear, the parade, continues. It turns left onto Higher Medland with the guards kind of lined along the edge of the roadway. Still, the protesters shouting their chants and waving their signs from the sidelines, but they're simply just no longer blocking the parade procession.
I think I just sort of continue to walk around. I'll listen to what they're saying, but not going to get too involved. I want to keep my nose clean here. I don't want to be seen as a protester or anything. I've already got enough problems with the guards as it is. So I think I just follow along and maybe talk to some people. Hey, what do you think of the Patriots over there?
I think they got some good points. But, look at them interrupting Founders Day. We're all just trying to have some fun.
Yeah, they should take a step back for a day or two, I would say. But I get it, you're recruiting these guys to go fight. I don't think that's really right.
They're not forcing them to go. Those troubles are so far south. We live up here for a reason, right? We're far away from it. That's the reason the Founders founded Storm Cape. That's what this day is all about.
Exactly. I understand. I'm with you, buddy. Hey, here's a silver piece. Take your family out. Get something good to eat.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
And if you're not busy, next week I'll be up at the Bashing Clash. Come check me out. Maybe bet a little coin on me. What do you say, Rumpke?
I'll remember that name. He kind of looks you over. Looks at your cuts and bruises. I don't know if I'll be betting on you, but I'll be making a bet.
You'll be making a mistake.
He kind of holds up the silver, gives you a bit of a salute with it, and then turns his attention back to the parade. Helkruk Tread has spent the last 2 weeks preparing wagons and horses for Founders Day. Lehan's Carriage Services provides the necessary transportation for the floats every year, in addition to preparing a float of their own, driven by Old Man Lehan himself. But this year, Lehan has tasked Helkruk with accompanying him and taking the float reins. By far, the Lehan Services float is the smallest one of the parade, right? It's just a simple wagon with Lehan Carriage Services painted down each side of it. That is by design, however, as the only horse really left available after, lending them out to pull the other floats down the various procession routes is just one kind of old horse that seems to refuse to be put out to pasture. A reliable old horse, though. Helkruk's horse, a horse named Smaller. And Helkruk, your parade route starts down the slanted slipway through the Denizen, which is the largest residential district in all of Storm Cape, and housing the highest percentage of the city's population, so it's very densely packed. As a result, the parade route here is the most crowded of the four, as it is every year. Hundreds of people, waving and shouting for their favorite paper lanterns. Again, that general excited buzz that's been in the air across the entire city on Founders Day. So you and Lehan are just kind of sit up top, and the old man starts to shift his weight next to you. He kind of to turn himself around, starts to kind of rock the wagon. Could you make a animal handling check, please, as you have the reins?
Oh, I knew I was going to like these new dice. Nat 20 for 23.
Okay, well done. So this extra shifting, no problem. You pull on one side of Smaller as the wagon shifts the other, right? Working the reins and keeping your float straight. Well, looks like we have the Perals a few floats down there, boy. I have my hopes on the Tuskers this year.
And what do I know about the Perals and the Tuskers that would be relevant?
Yeah, so you know the head of the Peral family. His name is Ike Peral. He's a human. He's in his mid-20s. He's still fairly young. If you kind of look back yourself, you can see he's got thick dark hair that kind of comes down to about the bottom of his ears, a little shaggy, with a matching dark mustache. He's unmarried, he doesn't have any children or anything. So really he's just accompanied by his assistants. There's no other Peral family. He's kind of the last of that line right now. And the Tuskers, though you know, are a half-orc family, and they're headed by Anton Tusker and Liltala Tusker. Anton is a half-orc, and Liltala is actually half-elf.
Yeah, you were hoping to be riding with the Tuskers. What makes you say that? I think the Perals aren't too bad.
Oh, that Ike, he's a ruffian. He's too young to be heading up his family. I like the Tuskers, and they're a mixed family. They got all those adopted kids. It's just nice to see.
Yeah, from what I've heard around town, they seem to be well liked. Certainly a handsome family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Helkruk, I don't have any kids of my own, so it's just nice to see a large family, you know.
Yeah, it is good. Maybe next year you can be part of the Tusker procession.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll wait and see about next year. And as the parade continues, you know, again, you've got like kids up on shoulders, and they're peering over the barricade set up on the other side of the road, and this red ball bounces into the road in front of your float, kind of chased by a small child who's managed to squirm out of their parents' grip. Can you make me another animal handling check, please?
Can't keep rolling 20s all night. That is a 10.
Well, you see, like, Leanne moves pretty fast for an old guy, grabs the reins, right, and kind of woes Smaller. Well, that's a good thing we're moving at a snail's pace here, boy.
That's one of the benefits of Smaller, is that nothing happens too quickly, lots of time for any surprises. He's reliable, it doesn't, get you anywhere too quickly, but he'll probably get you there.
Well, us old-timers still have a lot to give, you know. Some of us, at least.
Well, I'm not so young myself, Leanne. I hear what you're saying.
Oh, you're just a whippersnapper compared to me.
The kid that ran out, what did they look like? What does the family look like there? Come from? Did we throw the ball back to them already? Or no, I guess we didn't catch the ball. We just pulled the reins.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Leanne was able to stop, and then the kid kind of picks up their ball, and like their mom quickly comes into the road and scoops them up and takes them back to the side of the street. They were never really in any danger. Like I said, the parade procession is incredibly slow. So Helkruk, you know that your route for the parade, again, it started on the slanted slipway. It'll make its way to the first parallel connector, which it'll continue south down to Auric Roadway West is kind of your route. So in the Wares district, right, with the center of the city, it's made into a bit of a grid, right, and the section is sectioned off into kind of squares or named sections, and running east, west, and north and south are these connecting roads, which each of the four processions eventually will come down, one down each to meet right in the center, which is Auric Court. In this city, you notice basically on the main roads, anything that runs east to west is a roadway. Anything north to south is called a connector. So that'll give you, as I'm naming, I know it's a lot of names to throw at you all at once, but that's kind of the general layout of the city. And I mean, again, Helkruk, working with Leanne Carriage Services, like, you are incredibly familiar with all the various, especially the main roads where the carriage services transport people to and from. Essentially, it's just a taxi service, right? So you're definitely familiar with the route. There's no way you can get lost. You're at the tail end of this procession, and you're basically following the float ahead of you. But you kind of turn onto the first parallel connector, and you see Leon again. He reaches back into the wagon, and he pulls out this big, long stick, and it ends in a carrot tied to a rope. And he extends it out in front of Smaller, intentionally trying to lead her left or right, like out of the parade path. Can you give me a third animal handling check? You've passed once, you've failed once. This is going to make or break.
No way. Another nat 20.
Wow, okay.
So Helkruk will say,
Leanne, Smaller's favorite food is carrots. What are you trying to do?
Well, hot damn, boy! You and Smaller are certainly in sync. listen, Helkruk, you've been doing really good. I'll admit some of these were a bit of a test on my part. I wasn't expecting the kid. But like I said, I ain't got no family, no wife, no kids. And it's the damnedest thing, no matter what I do, I just keep on getting older. A couple weeks from now, it'll have been our anniversary, 15 years since I found you in my barn. 15 years.
Has it really been that long?
I mean, not so long in the grand of it, but long enough to know that Helkruk, I want you to take over the carrot services. I think it's finally time for me to retire. Yep, retirement.
Oh, Leanne, that's... I don't know what to say. I'm honored that you would think of me. It's a lot of responsibility. Wow. I mean...
So you accept?
Well, I mean, you're not a young man, but I guess I'm just surprised that you're ready to... What will you do with your time?
Oh, well, I hope you'll let me still work on the farm with the horses. And I'm 94 years old, but I still got some kicking. I ain't dead yet.
Well, not that's what I mean. I guess I saw you doing this for many more years to come. I can't. Maybe give me a night to sleep on it. It's a big decision.
Oh, hell, fine. Look, the place basically runs itself.
Well, yeah, the horses are pretty good. You've done a great job training them over the years, and it shows.
Well, my boy, a lot of that was you. 15 years of you putting in the work. It made my life a whole hell of a lot easier.
Oh, Leanne, you're too kind. I had a very good teacher.
He kind of chuckles, and he's like pulling back the stick, and he just starts to munch on the carrot himself.
Helkruk kind of chuckles.
He'll like snap it in half and offer you a piece of it.
He still has teeth?
He's still got wooden teeth. He's got a set of wooden
They're
dentures.
Yeah. Helkruk will chomp on a carrot along with him. Kind of just look over and smile, then look off out at the parade while he's munching away on his half of a carrot.
So the four of you had already previously agreed to meet up at Auric Court after, the parades have run all their routes, knowing what Helkruk's route, where he'll be approaching through the Auric Roadway West. Rumpke, Opal, and Kylia, you've all kind of done what you, like Opal's sold her stuff, Kylia's made a bit of a profit, right? Narrowly avoided getting caught, and Rumpke's kind of meandered his way down, and the three of you have culminated here, essentially just waiting for Helkruk's parade procession to arrive.
Hey, what do you guys think? Nice day for the founders, eh?
The parade wasn't as profitable for us this year.
I did all right.
There's a lot of people out there. I don't know how you can't make a little coin on the side there.
Well, we were training Jimmy, and he needs, we think he needs some more experience. He's not quite pulling his weight yet.
Yeah, Jimmy will come along. He's a good kid.
I think he should be put out. He's not worth the effort.
Seisha Dao, calm down.
Kylia could have done so much better without him.
But you gotta start somewhere.
Rumpke, you kind of stink. Do you want to smell like apple pie? It's the scent of the day.
Apple pie, you say, yeah?
Yeah, do it!
Yeah, okay. I'm game.
Give me your dagger or something.
All right, here you go.
And I'll infuse apple pie on that, and then the last person who had apple pie infused will lose their infusion.
That little kid is so
it's a
sad
little dishonest.
right now.
I know.
Hey, this does smell good. Probably gonna make me hungry later, though.
It's making me hungry now. Where is Helkruk?
Yeah, where is he?
Oh, no, I haven't seen him.
The 3/4 of the party waiting in Auric Court. You can see the front of Helkruk's parade procession approaching. Each of these processions is probably like 10 to 15 floats long, so 100, 150 feet in length, essentially. Maybe a little more with the kind of gaps between, right? They're not all like end to butt kind of thing. But you can hear this kind of faint, like overlapping melodies from the other 3 parade routes as, their virtuoso floats, as each one kind of draws closer to the city of the center. And, if you would look east, north, and south of you as you're kind of on the western side of the Orc Court, right? You can see you can't see the processions, but you can see the paper lantern balloons kind of floating overhead as they are approaching the center of the city. But from behind you, a large explosion goes off. This immediate dark cloud of noxious smoke plumes into the air from Orc Roadway east. A second boom from Orc Connector south. A third from Orc Connector north. Helkruk, behind your wagon and kind of in front of the founders, right, 2 floats down, you see this collection of large barrels. They come like sailing through the air, launched from somewhere from the surrounding buildings. They explode on impact in this concussive fireball. The nearest floats are blasted to splinters. Your own overturns as you and Lehan fly out of it. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
That is a 14.
Okay, that is a save, so you'll take only 4 fire damage. Now, with the destruction of these floats, untethered lanterns kind of smack into each other and sway violently from the concussive force of the blast. A giant fish lantern above you, Helkruk, catches fire as the source of the hot air, right, like kind of campfire or collection of wood, it's stirred up from the movement, sending embers raining down and catching the paper lantern. Its lift begins to fail, right, as a hole burns into it. It careens into a giant sword lantern, catching it on fire as well. Enormous flaming paper lanterns begin to domino into each other as they crash into the floats below them. Rumpke, as the booms go off, could you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
23.
Okay, so you pass your Constitution saving throw, but the mayhem around you fades away, and it's replaced by this dimly lit stone corridor, like as if you are like almost snapped into this new place. In front of you is a set of wooden double doors with iron banding around the edges. You hear yelling and voices from the other side as a muffled explosion goes off. The double doors shake on their hinges, cracking and splintering the wood. Then you're jolted back to the city center, standing with Kylia and Opal. And since you passed your con save, there's no negative effect from this sight, this glimpse into whatever it is.
What was that? I don't know. One went off. Okay, fine. Something happened. But 3? Something's going on.
Are we under attack? Rumpke, what's wrong?
I don't know. I heard the booms too. It must be shake my head a little
The
bit.
fire.
Must be setting the fireworks off early, eh?
Those didn't sound like fireworks to us.
People, they may need our help.
Yes, the surrounding crowds are set into a panic, right, as they begin to flee these explosion scenes, trying to get as far away from the floats and fire as they can. Some members of the crowd, however, they're pushing against those that are fleeing. They're jumping into the street and charging the floats. Many of them are holding what look like protest signs raised high before bringing them smashing down onto the fleeing float riders. Helkruk, you and Lehan have been tossed from the wagon, right? You're knocked prone and you're getting up, patting out your singes as you see these members of the crowd starting to swarm like you and the other float riders as you're trying to flee, get away from the raining fire.
The carriage that we were on and smaller. Did you say that the carriage was knocked over as well, or just we were just knocked off it?
The whole thing overturned and basically like flipped from the force.
Oh no, not smaller. Is smaller like on his side on the ground, or still standing upright, managed to right himself?
You see Smaller, like you and Lehan have been knocked prone. Smaller's on his side, still tethered to the wagon. Does seem like he's moving, but again, he's stuck to the overturned wagon. He's kind of pinned in place.
Okay. And Lehan looks like he's not, like gravely wounded or anything.
Lehan does not appear to be moving. He's kind of laying face down in the road.
Okay, so Helkruk's gonna run over to Lehan and...
Lehan, what? Roll over. What? You okay?
And you get no response.
I bend down and sort of shake his shoulder, try to gingerly roll him over to look for any injuries.
As you roll him, you can see the front of his overalls. They're just soaked red from this 8-inch piece of wooden debris from the blast that has pierced into his chest.
Oh no! Oh no! No! Lehan, wake up!
He kind of gasps and spits blood in your face. Helkruk! What happened?
Just relax. I'm gonna look after you. We can deal with this. There was an explosion. We got knocked off the carriage. You don't look so good, but I know some talented people. We can help you. Just try and don't breathe too quickly. Just stay still.
Rumpke, Opal, and Kylia, what do the three of you want to do?
Do we see the protesters?
Yes.
Hey, it looks like the peaceful patriots have forgot the first part of their name. Look at them. They're like attacking people.
Do we see Helkruk?
You don't quite see Helkruk. I mean, you definitely see a number of damaged floats down his procession line. But again, he was kind of at the end of it. And with, the people in the street, it's kind of like looking through a crowd. You can definitely try to, move through and look for him.
I actually would like to try and pickpocket somebody running around fleeing past.
Okay.
You're so disappointed in your takes earlier.
Okay, you could bump into somebody, and I'll give you advantage for your sleight of hand.
Nat 20 for a 25.
Okay, roll me d10.
3.
Roll d6. No, you know what? Because you're a good roll, I'm going to give you the best thing on this table. You fish out a key ring from this person's pocket, and it has 5 keys on it.
Oh, this is interesting. Yes, we wonder what these go to.
Rumpke?
I think I'll try to work my way through this crowd and grab people that are, starting to, if they're starting to beat up on anybody else, sort of grab them and say, hey, calm down there. Calm down. There's no reason we don't need to be fighting, and try to break up some of the kerfuffle that's going on between people.
Can you give me an athletics check as you try to pull to what looks like again, he's got a protest sign, and he's smacking it over one of these float drivers.
23.
Okay, I mean, you easily grab the collar of this protester, right, as they're clearly the aggressor, and pull them apart. And the protester just swinging, and then starts to turn on you and starts swinging at you for getting in the way.
I hold my hand up and go, don't make me beat you to a pulp. Now, just settle down there, and you leave that guy alone. He was just here in the parade. No problems here. Now get your protest someplace else. And you, over there, hey, stop beating up on that guy. And I head off to the next guy.
Okay, can you roll me, are you trying to be intimidating, or do you want to roll persuasion? I'll let you choose.
I'm going to say persuasion at first.
Okay.
Until I see what the reaction is. Right. All right, that's a 12.
You've stopped long enough or your shouts have given this protester a pause, right? But by the time he acts again, you're moving on, right? You're going from scuffle to scuffle, right? And trying to throw your own weight around, getting into everybody's way. Opal, what do you got going on?
Can I do a check, or would I know that, if these protesters were responsible for the bombs? Or, the fire, the booms, whatever?
There isn't any way for you to definitively know that, in your current position. You can definitely keep that in the back of your mind to investigate. Do you want to go to the scene of the explosion to try to find more evidence?
I'm debating between that and seeking out Helkruk, making sure he's alright. His procession, we know he was in the back. Was there fire and explosion that direction?
It was, yes. It was further down, yeah.
I will try to run through the crowds and go make sure Helkruk's okay.
Okay. Why don't you give me some kind of acrobatics or athletics, whatever's best for you, just to determine if you're slowed down getting to Helkruk.
Well, that was a 20. acrobatics. 18 plus 2.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, you just take off sprinting, kind of pulling ahead of Rumpke as Rumpke
I may
is
be
stopping.
small, so it helps. I can move through
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
Move.
You know, you move the 100 feet down through this crowd, and you find, basically, you see Helkruk, this overturned wagon, smaller, stuck to it. Helkruk has Lehan, who you may or may not have met, but certainly know who he is. And Lehan is, bleeding out.
Helkruk, are you okay? Oh my gosh, there's so much blood.
Oh, Opal.
Is that your blood?
No, I need your help. Can you do anything for him? He's in a bad way.
Oh, Lehan. Yeah. Oh my, this is okay. Oh, I don't like blood. Okay.
And I reach my hand out and I cure wounds on Lehan. 10 hit points back, if
Okay.
that helps.
That's probably all the hit points he has.
Now my hand's covered in blood.
Oh, ugh. Gives me the heebie-jeebies. It reminds me of Ruby.
I imagine part of your cure wounds and touching him, removing the spike essentially from him, right? As you can magically knit up where he's bleeding from.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, that feels a lot better. Oh, Helkruk, I think I can run the carriage service for probably another 15 years after that.
What's he talking about? That's weird. You're not quitting, are you?
Oh, Lehan, just don't get ahead of yourself now. But take it easy. That was close.
And you're okay, Helkruk? Oh man, it's a disaster.
I think all I see is Lehan's blood here.
It's like the protesters are enjoying it. They're wagging their signs around still over there. It's so weird.
You mean the peaceful patriots?
Yeah.
That's not very peaceful. Lehan, are you okay for a moment? I want to make sure that Smaller's okay. I'm okay, Helkruk. Check on the horse.
I'll scurry over to the overturned wagon and see if it seems like Smaller's still moving, breathing.
Yeah, Smaller does appear to be okay. You can kind of see on the back of the overturned wagon, there's a peppering of wood pellets stuck in the back of it, which seemed to have, because Smaller was directly in front of it, that blocked anything from getting to Smaller.
Okay.
But a few additional kind of sailed over the top of it, right, getting into Lehan as the two of you tumbled out of this thing. So Smaller seems good, but she's just kind of pinned because she's in the harness, right, and the arms of the front of the wagon that she's stuck between, right. That's really the only thing that's keeping him on the ground.
So I'll maybe see if there's any way I think I can work to get him free from the harness so that he might be able to stand up and right himself. Do you think that's doable? And I guess there's got to be some way to get a horse up when it's on its side, right? Bill doesn't have a lot of horse expertise, but I'm sure Helkruk does.
You're gonna need a forklift, and then you can.
Yeah, how do you get a horse up?
You can unlatch and unbridle Smaller, and he gets to his feet and is a little wobbly, but seems fine. He'll kind of saunter over to Lehan and nuzzle Lehan still lying on the ground. Rumpke, by now you've kind of worked your way. You've convinced a few to back off, but some you have to get a little more physical with. You might take a hit from a sign riot and dish something out yourself, but you're doing something. You are allowing some of these float riders to get away because of your interventions.
I'll continue to head down the road where Opal went as I sort of move these people, around. If I see somebody doing something, I'll run over and sort of get in between them and that kind of thing. But I'll just head towards Opal.
As I was going over to check on Smaller, and you said it looked like there were these kind of the back of the wagon was almost impaled by wood. Do I get the feeling that these may have actually sort of been improvised weapons? Or does it seem more just when an explosion happened, pieces of wood go flying, and it's kind of just the natural progression of an explosion and there being wood barrels around and stuff?
You can do kind of a quick investigation. Kylia, are you also making your way to the direction of Opal and Rumpke? You're going to try again for something here in the crowd?
After we got the keys, we are going to look up and see that we don't see our friends anymore and try and follow after where we think they went.
Okay, and I mean, there's kind of only one direction, right? The other direction is back the way you had started, so certainly moving forward, you can kind of catch up and join the rest of the party. Helkruk, what was your investigation?
I think my die is broken. It's another nat 20. That's
not
absurd.
broken.
Sounds good to me.
You got to roll some low numbers to make it fun once in a while.
I think that's what our own incompetence is for.
I'll just start setting
Yeah,
the DC at
we need to
45 or
remind
something.
him of this and humble him a little bit.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here, I'm sure. So that'd be 20 if it's investigation.
So, I mean, you saw the explosive barrels come careening into the street, right? So definitely some of these bits are like barrel remnants, but looking at the float that was directly behind you, and again, there was like 2 between you and the very end, which was the Founder's float. Like the float that basically the barrels hit completely just obliterated. Like there's splinters everywhere. So most likely wasn't anything added to the explosive devices, but really just like the shattering of the epicenter of the explosion and these wooden wagons just kind of sent everywhere. And now you're all together. And again, again, this is just like frantic. This is happening very quickly, right? We didn't go into initiative, but we could have. Maybe like 4 or 5 rounds of it has passed, right? But now finally, these nearby city guards are responding to these attackers, and I like Rumpke. They're trying to get in between the violence, right? But they're really split between dealing with the attacking protesters and dealing with the fires, trying to stamp those out too, that the floats are now spreading along the floats in the procession. These guards are even split further as many of them start to clump up around the Founder's float to protect Ike and his assistants, right, above anybody else. They're, again, pushing against encroaching protesters with shields, trying to fend them off as they help Ike to his feet from, his own overturned float. There's one guard, though, that's not part of this defending phalanx. Like, he wields no shield, only what looks like an oversized executioner's axe. And he has this misshapen leather bag kind of hanging from his back. His axe's blade has this concaved curve to it rather than like a traditional convex one. Its edge is jagged. The metal of the blade and the long wooden handle, it looks aged, looks old. The guard has it gripped in both hands as he swings it low at his fellow guards, easily cleaving through 4 ankles, sending 2 sprawling and screaming and bleeding to the road. This opening in the line allows the protesters just burst through, trampling these already injured guards under feet that they no longer have. If you all want to intervene in what's happening here, then we can roll initiative.
Helkruk kind of looks to his friends and looks over.
What is going on? What is he doing?
He's fighting his own guys.
Hey, he's taking out the guards.
This doesn't seem right.
I start yelling, "Hey, everybody get out of the street! Stay away from that guy!" Pointing. Trying to push everybody away. He looks like a pretty terrible foe, so I think I'm just going to try to get the crowd to move as I back away.
How close is this bad guard to Ike?
Well, the line of this guards that he was behind, he's 10 feet from Ike Peral. He's right on him.
Uh-oh. And Ike, did you say Ike is the last remaining of his family? Or he just doesn't have any kids to, carry on the line?
He is the last Peral in Stormkit.
We need to do something.
Opal will attack.
Yeah. You think we're feeling loyal to one of the founders?
I think Opal would. You'll at least see her get ready to. If you want to stop her.
Let's roll initiative, and then for those that don't want to act, don't have to on their turns.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I'm
go.
a good guy, Helkruk.
Here we go.
Okay, Rumpke got a 16.
Kylia has 14.
I actually got a 14 as well.
Woohoo!
And Helkruk has a 7.
What is this humming and hawing over doing the right thing, Helkruk? I'm worried about
Well, Helkruk's got a bit of a complex past with the authority figures.
And we're 3rd level.
Yeah, he's also feeling very self-conscious about his low level.
So you see, again, the line of guards is now engaged with the protesters, but there were still a couple more that were helping Ike up, right? And seeing this axe-wielding guard turn on, themselves, they put themselves in front of Ike and throw themselves against this guard, stabbing into him, tempting to at least, and they both land their hit. But it's like this guard, like almost, he takes the damage, but it's not slowing him down whatsoever. Rumpke, you're up. So the party, you're about 40 feet from like Ike and the encroaching guard with the axe.
Is there any like hunks of cobblestone or anything that's blowing up on the street? Like I could pick up something like a fist-sized rock of some kind?
Oh yeah, there's debris everywhere.
I think I'll grab one of those. I'll sort of put myself behind the wagon that Helkruk was in and chuck it at the guy's head and yell, "Hey, big guy, over here!" and sort of throw it at his head. 21.
Definitely hits.
What do you get? 1d4 for a stone? Is that what you want?
Sure.
Okay, that's 2 points of damage. Just trying to get his attention.
Okay, and you hit him dead on, right? And it, like the kind of guards stabs into him, like he reacts to it, right? And it's clear like you're doing damage to him, but it doesn't seem to like do what you wanted to draw his attention. He seems very focused on Ike Peral. Opal and Kylia, you can decide who you want to go first between the two of you.
You go first, Opal.
Opal's gonna move her full movement of 25 feet close to... You know what? If I dash, I can get over to Ike. Does he have any guards, like, guarding him at all?
Yeah, the two that were attacking the axe-wielding guard.
Okay, so they're busy attacking, so it's like, okay. I think Opal's gonna use her action to dash and try to, like, usher... I have 40 extra feet, maybe. Or, not 40, I'm sorry. I have 10 extra feet, maybe, to, like, usher him and try to find him safety or some cover.
Okay, yeah, you want to, like, start to pull him away?
I want to pull him away from the fight, yeah. Noticing that he's the focus of his attention there.
Yeah. Okay, you can kind of like start to pull him around behind his overturned founder float, and he like immediately will comply. He looks absolutely terrified.
You, hide here. Come with me.
Kylia.
Opal, where are you? What? Well, we guess we're doing this. That friend of yours will get you killed. Oh, hush, Seishodo. We'll pull out our longbow and shoot the big guy. Hopefully. Crit! I critted on my first attack.
First crit of the campaign, baby!
That is a max of 8 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2. So that is 18.
Well done.
And after I shoot, I will run closer. How far? What you said he was 40 feet away? I can run 30. I'll run up 30 feet. So I'm 10 feet away from him now.
Helkruk.
Helkruk is going to spend a key point to use his ability Step of the Wind. I can disengage or dash as a bonus action on this turn, and my jump distance is doubled. What I would like to do is run. I'm sort of like seeing what Opal's lead and following that. I'm going to run, and I'd like to jump and springboard off of this knight's like shoulder or head, and potentially maybe like knock him off balance a little bit, and then jump toward where Opal has tried to usher Ike away from the danger. So is that something I can do?
Yes, it'll take your action, but you can roll me in acrobatics.
So acrobatics is a 15.
Okay, so yeah, you burn this resource, you sprint, and like you say, you springboard off of this guy, like flipping over a vaulting horse almost, right? Like, and then able to kick back as you do so, and you knock him prone. I'll let you knock him prone.
Huge.
Nice.
Okay.
And then you have joined Opal and Ike.
Yeah, I'd like to get as close to them as I can, or right up next to them if I can.
Yep, you definitely have the movement with your dash. because you move a little faster than Opal does.
And then I will sort of turn around and sort of like brace myself in front of them to try and help protect Opal. More so Opal, really, but also Ike. I'm not as concerned about Ike, I think, as Opal is, but I don't want Opal to get hurt.
Okay, this axe-wielding guard gets to his feet, clearly becoming annoyed by all your attempts, right? All the damage you've been doing to him. Opal coming in and taking Ike. You see he just kind of lets go one hand from his axe and grabs the top of his head and begins to tear and pull at it. And the skin at the neck just starts to separate and rip as he pulls his head off and morphs and grows and swells into this 15-foot giant creature with no head. And he just tosses the discarded head, which remains like the size of a humanoid, and in the face of which how he looked as a guard. He'll throw it at Helkruk.
Helkruk's braced for it.
Can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Could Opal see that hiding? Probably not.
Oh yeah, you all see this, absolutely.
Okay.
How many arms does this guy have, and how many were sewn on?
No extra appendages for this one.
Is there blood?
There is no blood, no. In fact, his skin looks like gray and dead.
Okay, that helps Opal. Otherwise, she was probably going to throw up.
I love how Opal's got this, like, phobia of blood. Should be interesting. All right, dex saving throw for Helkruk is at 22.
Okay, that is
Good number.
That is a save. Good job. You will take half of this. So you'll take half of 24, which is 12 bludgeoning, as this
Ouch.
head, like, it's almost like a point blank throw. You're like 15 feet from this guy, and it just barrels, smacks you right in the chest.
Yeah, I think I kind of like try to do a little like wax on, wax off, deflect it a little bit, but still it hits me.
And you see like the gear that this giant foe, like, it grows with him too. So his axe now is like 3 times the size that it was.
Oh, perfect. So he's taken more than feet now. Maybe a whole leg.
Yeah, he definitely has some reach. That was only his bonus action. With his action, he will swing this axe at the 2 guards that are still in front of him. The 28 to hit, and he will like he's a hot knife through butter. He will cleave through the first guard into the second one, bisecting them both. And Opal, there is your blood that you were so concerned about seeing, as 4 parts of these guards just fall to the road.
Don't try not to look, Opal.
Oh, I'm trying.
Back to the top with the regular guards, again still battling with the protesters, but a few of them see what is going on and they just try to run and they start to flee. Half of the 8 that were kind of assembled here try to take off. Rumpke.
I'll run up my 25 feet that I can run, and then I'm going to throw another rock at him since I'm not within melee range, and I'm going to use one of my brawler superiority die to use a skill called Distracting Strike. So first, let's see if I hit. That's a 18.
Yeah, it hits.
So when you hit a creature with an unarmed attack, you can expend one of your brawling die to distract a creature, giving your allies an opening. You add the brawling die, which is a d8, which I'll roll now. It's an 8, to the attack's damage roll. Any attack roll against a target by an attacker other than you has advantage if the attack is made before the start of your next turn. 9 points of damage, and you all have advantage until the start of my next turn.
All right, very good. Opal.
Keep your head down.
And I pop up, and Opal's gonna release her light crossbow, release an arrow at this guy. Well, at this thing. Wide. It's a 7.
You got advantage.
Yeah.
Ooh, advantage. Okay. Hey, there's 20.
There you go.
All right. 9 piercing damage. Does Ike seem hurt at all?
He doesn't, but he's like freaking out. What is this thing? What is it? Look. I'm not even Ike Perol. I'm an imposter. And you see he pulls off like his dark hair as a wig and a fake mustache. I'm just a stand-in for the parade. I'm not even the founder.
Oh my gosh. Where is Ike?
I don't
He's
know.
obviously the target.
Tell him that I'm not the real guy. Please.
Okay, you took your disguise off. That's good. Here.
Is there anything else around that I could like a hood or a hat, or like could he pull a hood up and we could just try to use my movement to move?
Yeah, like he can kind of like pull like his cloak or robe up around him.
Put your hood up and let's go.
So I only have 25 feet, but I'll scurry as fast as I can with this guy into the crowd to try to mingle.
Okay.
It's not the real Ike.
You don't see me, ain't got no head.
I say it so our party can at least hear.
It's not the real Ike.
All right, good job. Kylia.
Seeing this thing pull its head off and transform, I will stop my run forward and move back. And then we will unleash another arrow at it with advantage, which did nothing for me. That is a 10.
That is a miss.
We will continue going backwards a little bit more. So we're about 25 feet away now.
Okay.
What is that? What is that?
Helkruk, you're up.
Okay, Helkruk kind of sees, well, doesn't kind of, he's right there. He very easily sees that this isn't actually the real Ike, and he watches Opal scurry away into the crowd with this stand-in, and kind of shakes his head and chuckles a little bit at this situation they've gotten themselves into, basically protecting nobody. Well, nobody of real significant importance.
It's fine.
Well, I guess we're in for a penny, in for the whole round, as they say.
So he's going to run straight at this guy. And, well, not a guy, but this monster. He'll spend another key point to use Fury of Blows. So he's going fist first, right at this guy. Gonna try and, I don't know, how tall did you say he is?
15 feet.
15 feet, okay. So, I mean, he doesn't have a head to swing at anyway, so I guess he's swinging at his gut.
Aim lower.
Yeah, it is. And I still have advantage?
Yes.
Good, because I rolled a 2. Adjusted 20 to hit.
Yep.
Ooh, nice. Max damage, so 6 bludgeoning damage. And that was an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
And that time 5 bludgeoning damage. How does it look like that affected this big fella?
Again, you are doing damage, but it seems like it's insignificant to this thing.
All right. Well, Helkruk can take a punch, so hopefully he decides to punch him instead of use his weapon on him. I'm just gonna stay right up in melee combat range with him.
Okay. This giant monster. He kind of, again, you are engaged with him, but he's like 15. He's got reach. He kind of just steps around you, almost ignoring you. He gives you this backhand, which is only a 15.
That does hit.
You'll take another 8 bludgeoning.
Helkruk has made it to the end of his HP. But
I'm on pins and needles. Edge of my seat.
so he has a trait and called Relentless Endurance. So when you're reduced to 0 HP but not killed, you can drop to 1 instead, once per long rest. He's knocked down to 0, but not knocked down yet.
Okay.
But he got up again.
So you're still on your feet, but this thing, like, it's now bending down and it's like inspecting the discarded beard and mustache, and you see its like big fist just kind of like tightens and clenches, and it just like smashes against the overturned float, like punching a hole into it, and it'll reach into its big leather sack, and you see it pulls out, like, it's just tiny in its hand, right? A head from its bag, and it affixes it back to its neck, and he shrinks back down into a normal, like, medium-sized creature, and will continue moving away from this site into the crowd, attempting to disappear, basically. So you can't get an opportunity attack against it as it's moving away from you.
Was I able to catch much of a glimpse of the face of that head? And if so, was it anyone I recognized?
It doesn't look like anybody you recognize, but if you were to see it again, you would be able to recognize it. Definitely, you were like it happened like right next to you, right? Like you're getting this front seat show of this transformation. So absolutely, like if this thing gets away, you would be able to recognize this face again.
Does it look like he's going directly after where Opal and the Ike fill-in went, or he's just going into the crowd?
It looks like it's just into the crowd, trying to, again, just get away from this site. Clearly, there's what he was after is not here, so it seems like he's just trying to leave.
Being smacked around as significantly as he was, I think Helkruk's just gonna let him go. I think he knows a fight that he can't easily win when he sees one.
Rumpke.
So he's moving away. So I'm just going to sort of run over to Helkruk, sort of bend down a knee and look up at the guy going away. Yeah, next time pick on somebody a quarter your size. Like me. And then I'll see if he's okay.
Oh, Rumpke, he almost put an end to me. He can hit pretty hard.
You took quite a backhand there. Oh, man, are you all right? You break any bones or anything?
I don't think so. None that haven't been broken before. I'll be fine.
I'm going to poke at him at a few different places. Yeah, let me check. These are the places. Does that hurt? Does that hurt?
Yeah, I mean, when you do that, but I'll be all right.
What about over here? On your arm? That's where it looked like he hit you. I squeeze it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that hurts?
I kind of try and smack his hand away.
I have a feeling that Helkruk is going to be employing a lot of patient defense around Rumpke this campaign.
If that's how he heals people, yeah.
Opal, you are next. You have Ike. Why don't you give me a stealth check, please?
I'm in scale mail armor, so this will be fun. Ooh, a 20 and an 18, so the lowest is 20.
Okay, I mean, it seems like you and Ike have successfully blended into, again, it's still a crowd fleeing. There's definitely like some curious onlookers, right? Trying to, still taking in what's happening, but it seems like you've successfully blended in. And like Ike has like a solid like iron grip on your arm, like, and he's not letting go as you're like leading through the crowd.
Where are we headed? Like, where do you want to go?
Anywhere. I don't care.
Your friends are back there.
Anywhere. My friend. No, they're not my friends. I don't know them. Let's go. I don't know any of them.
Okay, you go. I have to go back and check out my friends.
Oh,
please.
Okay. Look. Thank you. Look. My real name is Lonnie. I don't know. If I ever see you again, I have to repay you somehow. Look, just thank you.
Lonnie, just come to Toggles and Sprockets anytime. It's my family shop.
Okay. Thank you. I gotta get out of here.
Okay, take care, buddy.
And I'll go back to check on everyone.
Okay, and then you see that this enormous figure has no longer around the deceased guards and the overturned wagon. You see Rumpke and Helkruk together.
Oh, there's a lot of blood.
Kylia, what are you doing?
We will saunter up to where Helkruk and Rumpke are. That was interesting. What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I never seen anything that can take its head off and put another one on.
This is probably something we should watch out for, I believe.
Guys, I'm back. I helped the
Opal, are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Ike was fake. He was fake. It was fake Ike. Fake. Lon, anyway. What did this guy want with Ike? Blood. Is that guy just right down the middle, huh? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he doesn't look so good.
Literally just like two... Oh, wow. Okay.
Can I check his pockets?
Yeah, you can check his pockets. Could you give me a perception check, too?
Perception of a 23.
17 for Rumpke.
11 for Opal.
2 for Helkruk.
Okay.
Wow.
So Rumpke and Kylie, even Kylia, ever the keen eye, keeping a lookout as she is even looting corpses. You notice that, like, with the departure of this giant transforming person, it seems like the protesters have also like slunk away, and the fighting has now like subsided. And I mean, we're officially out of initiative, of course, but it seems like right after this figure disappears, these protesters, like, signs dropped, and they also try to slink away and blend into the crowd and the surrounding.
It looks like they're trying to kill the founders here. I hope the other ones are okay.
Oh yeah, there were multiple explosions.
What better day to kill the founders than on Founders Day, right?
Right.
Kylia, on this person you're looting, you pull out like a very fine-looking silk handkerchief. It was a guard, right? You said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, being on duty, a city guard normally wouldn't have many of their personal possessions on their person. Unlike someone just kind of walking down the street from where they start to wherever they're going, right? So it's a little more of a officialness to like a guard's uniform. But you do find this silk handkerchief. It does look a little used, but not snotty or anything.
Oh, we think Zelmo will like this.
Oh, does Zelmo have allergies?
No, he just likes fine things.
Oh.
Hey, if we're all right here, why don't we go over and see what happened with those other explosions? Maybe there's something going on over there.
Do we have to?
There might be some dead bodies you can loot.
There might be some not dead bodies trying to kill us.
Well, we'll stay back until we find out.
You can go and then tell me if there's blood. Helkruk, you look really hurt.
Yeah, that was a big whatever it was. I maybe shouldn't have picked that fight.
Well, I mean, I think we all picked it, but you really,
Picked it.
yeah, you picked it.
You got one of them juices on you can give him, make him feel better?
Exactly what I was saying. Here, take this.
I'll give him my elixir for the day.
Oh, well, thank you, Opal. This will be just what I need, I'm sure.
Does it have any particular taste or consistency?
It tastes like whatever Helkruk likes.
Is that max heal?
We have the house rule that all potions are max healing.
So then that'd be 8 plus 3, so it'd be 11.
Helkruk is interested in, I guess we would have already maybe seen this guard's face. I don't know. If we didn't get a good look at it, I would like to look at the head that was pulled off and see if there's any features that still remain in it that I might be able to identify as a person I recognize, or no?
Sure. I mean, you all can take a look at it, and it's a little like banged up from hitting you so hard. But what features do remain? It is clearly like it's like you're holding a severed head. It's a real human head. The face doesn't strike you as being familiar to any of you.
Is that the same face as what the new one was?
Helkruk knows that it is not the same face. It is a different face.
No, the new face is somebody else. I don't know. I'd probably know him to see him again, but it's different.
How many heads do you think he has?
I'm hoping just 2.
I mean, so you all saw he had a leather sack on him that was like misshapen. Like there was a number of things inside of it.
He could have had a teapot in there.
You're right. Yeah, could have been
Kettle.
anything.
A globe? Could have been a globe.
Pair of wooden teeth. Pair of wooden teeth for the headless creature. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like the tavern's open now. There's not a lot of people around. I got some coin burning a hole in my pocket. Let's go get a beer and settle down for a while then. It's on me.
You know I'll never say no to a good ale.
But what about the other explosions?
Somebody else's problem?
Kylia makes a good point. Yeah, there's guards there too. We can only do so much.
Okay, I guess you're right. Let's go get a drink.
On Rumpke. Thanks for listening. You can find a lot of information on our website, incorrigibleparty.com, or from our new World Anvil site, worldanvil.com/w/centa-Leyland Steel. World Anvil is free, but you do need to make an account. Our music is provided by Tabletop Audio, and don't forget Sarastra music. It's been a great addition to things. Oh, yeah, and also you can support us at patreon.com/incorrigibleparty. Or tell your friends. The more people that know, the more people that'll listen, the better for us. Oh, and give us a 5-star review on wherever you listen to podcasts. That's really helpful. And last but not least, you can join our Discord, which is free and open to everyone. Yeah, everyone. You can get insider info and be the first to find out about new and awesome things. I think that's all. Happy adventuring! Whatever.
This has been a Sounds of Steel production.